So in this segment, we're going to be talking about a Liam Fox Brexiter argument saying history will judge those who refuse to compromise on the Northern Ireland Protocol. So effectively, he's blaming the EU for this because the Tory party dogma at the moment is the idea that the EU has to give some sort of concession on the protocol. That's kind of what they're going for here. So according to some parts of the press, the Prime Minister is between the devil and the deep blue sea on the matter of the protocol. Okay, not a bad start. It is assumed that he must choose between a trade war with the EU if he abandons it, the protocol, or the end of the Good Friday Agreement. Now, again, the protocol supports the Good Friday Agreement because it stops a hard border in the island of Ireland. I don't know why it's so hard for Brexiteers to understand that. Then again, they don't understand a lot of things, especially when they're sick of experts. So this is hugely mistaken analysis, which has informed the flawed and sometimes most deceptive briefings that have taken place in Washington. Okay, it's not bad, is it? Because Brexiteers do argue that, if we abandon the Good Friday Agreement, if we keep the protocol, it's going to damage and destroy the Good Friday Agreement. So not bad from the man himself, Liam Fox. Unlike other Brexiteers, how did we get here? I don't know, man. You tell me. Boris Johnson inherited Parliament's mess. Here we go. Bercow and other hardcore opponents of Brexiteers, a coup d'etat against the British people and their democratic decision, even though there was a lot of issues with the referendum. The Ben Act, which ostensibly tried to prevent a no-deal Brexit, which, again, how can you argue that's not the will of the people when no Prime Minister ran a mandate on a no-deal Brexit for a start? Also, the Conservative Party didn't actually win the majority under May anyways. So it's going to be very hard for you to argue that Parliament were against the people at that point. By this time, a revised protocol had been agreed, and it still contained contained issues many MPs were unaware of. And he's talking about here the Johnson protocol. Now that's interesting because there were other people like David Davies who have said we've argued that this ad nauseum. We've looked into every stone. That we have no issues with this. So for him to argue many MPs were unaware of the details, are you saying Tory MPs are stupid? Are you saying your fellow MPs are dumb because they read this? They had so much time to read this, right, to go through it. And if there were issues, they could have called for it to be delayed, a vote on it. So this argument of, they were unaware of the details. Do MPs generally, genuine question, do they vote on bills without actually reading and understanding them? Because if they do, that explains so many things, honestly. The protocol is not set in stone. It mostly is. There are tweaks that can be had, but it is pretty much set in stone. It contains powers for the Joint Committee to amend the agreement. Yes, if the EU and the UK consent, there can be amendments made. And the possibility of replacing the protocol itself by agreement under Article 13.8. But you see, there's the key there, by agreement. Both sides have to agree to this. There was never any need in terms of trade, or trade law to have a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Yes, that you cause a lot of issues doing that. Many of us who were Brexiteers in Theresa May's cabinet believed that by using the latest technology, I see, technology, we're here again, the latest technology, we can get around the problems. And it goes, after all, only 0.2% of the EU's trade is, after all, only 0.2% of EU trade was exported from Northern Ireland to the Republic of Ireland, which is actually going up. And divergence was not a problem as the UK was using the same standards as it had during EU membership, even though we're constantly talking about deregulation. What he's trying to argue here is that because there's such a small amount of trade between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, 0.2% of the EU's trade, why they shouldn't be concerned about it, and we can deal with it through technology. So he had an okay start, but then he ruined it because he's going to argue for technological solutions. Neither the UK government nor the Irish government wanted to see border controls, obviously not, because the Good Friday Agreement exists, and we know what happens if you start putting up a hard border in the island of Ireland. Bad things. The EU, however, believed that they could use that threat to throughout the destruction of the Good Friday Agreement to force the hand of both. That's not actually true. Ireland had the lead on the Good Friday Agreement, on the Northern Ireland Protocol. So to argue somehow Ireland were forced into this agreement is simply wrong. The Commission believed that by keeping Northern Ireland within the EU orbit would punish the UK for Brexit. That's simply not the case. This wasn't a punishment for Brexit. Keeping Northern Ireland in the EU's orbit actually helps them quite a lot, but you wouldn't understand that. But the simple fact is, it wasn't a punishment. This was the only way to leave, considering we had a land border with an EU member. And you can't put a border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, because if you do that, you will reignite the troubles. You'll reignite so many issues within the island of Ireland that history, we should be past that. But the protocol's hybridity, what is that a word? Is hybridity a word? Has turned out to be its very weakness. Trying to put Northern Ireland part of the UK's customs area within the EU, but the thing is, right, that's what you agreed upon, that Northern Ireland is still part of the UK, but it's within kind of the EU's customs, where Northern Ireland adheres to EU laws on manufacturing rather than GVs and on farming as well. So what are the practical alternatives in the absence? So he talks about maximum facilitation, which is technology. An attractive solution would be the concept of mutual enforcement set out by Lord Trimble. Now, this solution is so dumb. I've seen it before. It's genuinely mind-numbingly dumb. So he and his colleagues at the centre of Brexit policy suggested each side make a reciprocal legal agreement to enforce each other's rules on trade. It would be an offence in UK law to export goods from Northern Ireland to the Republic of Ireland which did not conform to EU goods and vice versa. So, for example, if the Republic of Ireland exported goods somehow to Northern Ireland without conforming to the UK standards, there would be punishments. How the hell do you even enforce that? How the hell do you enforce such a rule? Honestly, it's madness. Or necessary checks would be made on company premises and in company records rather than a physical border. Do you realise companies can lie, right? And cheat? Because that's what they'll do to get a competitive edge. I mean, this kind of system, no country uses this sort of system. There's a reason for that. You have to have a border, you have to have checks, physical inspections, etc. The last thing you want is goods getting into your country which cause problems and then are checked later on, because that you're being reactive, you're being slow to massive problems. This can also be made to work if both parties are willing to do so. I mean, it's just rubbish, isn't it? The protocol is unacceptable because it leaves Northern Ireland people as second-class citizens. No, it doesn't, though. It really doesn't leave them as second-class citizens. In what sense? Honestly, it's just an identity issue these people have. Breaching the terms of the Act of Union, which guaranteed their equal treatment. Again, it hasn't, one Act of Parliament can be superseded by a newer Act of Parliament. So even if it did breach the terms of the Act of Union, one has subjugated the other, one has superseded the other. The new Act of Parliament outdoes the old Act of Parliament. If that's the case, where old Acts of Parliament can't be changed, you have no right to change the Human Rights Act. The Prime Minister has been notable in trying to keep the temperature down on the issue. I mean, he hasn't, though, because he allowed Liz Truss to start throwing punches at people. There is a choice of whether to seek compromise or confrontation. History will be a harsh judge of the wrong decision. So essentially, what he's trying to argue is that history will essentially look at the EU badly. History will judge the EU badly because they did not, essentially give a new protocol. That's what he's implying here in this article. He started off very strongly. He talks about it's not actually the case that Boris Johnson stuck between the Good Friday Agreement and the Northern Ireland Protocol, which is true. He started off very strongly, but then he came up with nonsense technological solutions, this crap by Lord Trimble, saying that there are options outside of the protocol, and then saying history will judge the EU badly for not accepting my crappy solutions. It's just maddening to me. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Liam Fox has never been the smartest guy around. In a room by himself or with another person, he'll always be more stupid. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.